Hey, it's on. I did it with the mouse this time all by myself. So this is just a little a video to talk about our experience at Doe's Eat Place. So Doe's is a family restaurant that's been here in Greenville, Mississippi. And if you look at your map, Greenville is kind of midway up Mississippi, close to the river. It's beautiful here, actually. We drove from New Orleans today, and you see the farms. We saw cotton farms, we saw corn farms, and you see the blue sky and the green cotton and the brown corn that's already been harvested. Really quite nice. But Doe's was a place we identified before we went on our trip. Again, in business since 1941, third generation. And Doe's is in, I would call it a rough neighborhood in Greenville. Most of the houses, or a good number of the houses, are boarded up. When we get there, it looks like any other house, and there's a security guard with a gun running the parking lot or the parking area. But there are all people outside Doe's having beer, having sodas, and it was quite confusing when I walked in, because you walk in to a room that looks like a kitchen in your house, and we do have some pictures. But you're walking into the kitchen, and Charles, who is the third generation, is there cooking steaks in this big broiler. And so I didn't really know what to do. I walk up, I ask somebody what we do. They say you give the lady over there your name, and you help yourself to beer out of the cooler. So we did that, and then when your waitress comes, you tell them how many beers you had or sodas you had before dinner. And so then we started hanging out in the kitchen, and people introduced themselves. It's like being at your family Thanksgiving dinner. People are talking about how they live there. Third generation. We told about our trip. Charles gave us his dinner recommendations, which included homemade hot tamales and a great big porterhouse steak, 2.5 pounds, that Alex and I split. You'll see pictures of the food. Everything was great. When you go out of the kitchen entry room, which by the way used to be a honky tonk for blacks, and in the front of the house there a restaurant developed for whites who liked the food that Charles's grandfather cooked, and ultimately it just became one big restaurant. But they still welcome people in the kitchen as they did when the kitchen was a honky tonk. So you go into the dining room. There's an island there where people are making the salads. Another group is kind of the waitresses do their own side orders, so they're cooking the French fries, and if you get this big porterhouse, they cut it for you, family style, right on this big table. There's butter, there's bread, there are T-shirts underneath this island table, and nothing like you would see where we're from up in Boston. Everybody is friendly and happy. They're actually, the place where they wash the dishes. There are 3 women washing dishes in this room too, and kind of in this one of the dining rooms. And it was just a very different experience. The food was fantastic, but we probably rated it either even higher than it actually deserved, because the atmosphere was really extraordinary. Which leads me to my small point, which is it really is too bad that there are less places like Doe's Eat Place around. We all go to the franchises for just about everything we do, and shop at the brand name stores. And I know the good French have tried to preserve their traditions, but we really haven't done a very good job of that in America. And if you think about it, from clothes to houses to cars to restaurants to where we buy office supplies, it's all pretty vanilla and pretty much the same. And I can tell you that it was striking to have dinner at Doe's Eat Place and think about all the other places that It died. Alex,
Mm-hmm.
look. Oh, the screen was gone. So, sorry, maybe, I guess I needed to touch something on the screen to keep it going. So it was just striking to see um, how vanilla all of these aspects of our lives are, and how much more interesting things would be if there were more eat at Doe's places. And I think when we find places like that, and there are one or two in Brookline, like this Brookline Booksmith, which is an independent bookseller. I think we should all support them. It'll keep our lives more interesting. Over and out from Greenville, Mississippi, and I'm sure Charles would love to see you for dinner if it sounds good to you. Take care.